This is our bred heifer group. They're going to start calving in late January. All these heifers are line 1 females, bred to line 1 bulls. This front heifer is by the Cooper 9108G bull. He was one of the top sellers in their 2020 sell. He produced the top seller at Cooper's this year at over $90,000 for half possession, half interest. This heifer is out of the 6212 Holden bull. 6212 was used at Johansen Herefords as a herd bull for 2 or 3 years, and then we got the opportunity to purchase him, and we've used him for 3 years naturally and AI. That far heifer is also a 6212. This heifer is a 6212 daughter out of a first calf heifer. She just about outgrew her mother. Was bigger than her when we weaned him. Mother's a really moderate cow. Mother had a 9108 bull calf this year. Really nice. She should calve on the AI date, late January. This is another 9108 daughter out of a really good cow that produced a top bull calf this year. Mother's a 2158 daughter. 2158 was purchased from Johansen Herefords. She should calve on the AI date, late January. We AI'd to the Holden 022 X bull, owned by Coates and Holdens. And we also AI'd to the 710 Cooper bull that produced a lot of good females at Cooper's. He's owned by Coates and Indian Mound and Cooper's. Most of these heifers are out of either 9108 or 6212. We've got a couple that are not, but majority are out of those 2 bulls. This one here is another 9108 daughter out of a really good 9189 cow that was 10 years old. That far heifer we purchased from Holden's. She's actually out of the 4136 Cooper donor cow. She'll calve in March. Not on a computer, just on my phone. Juan, thank you. Nice view. This is that heifer we bought from Holden's. She's actually 100% Cooper bred. They purchased the 4136 cow and have flushed her. This is a natural daughter out of her. This is another 9108 heifer out of a really nice 472 daughter. Send some comments, questions. All the yellow tags are 9108 daughters. She's out of another 472 female. This is the one cow we have in here. She's a Holden bred cow out of the 2022 donor cow and the 6007 bull that topped their sale in 2017. Here's a 508 Cooper daughter. She should calve on the AI date. This is a 6212 daughter out of a really nice 1098 7-year-old cow. Hello, Jay. These heifers are about 4 months short of 2 years, 18-19 months old. Set to calve in late January to start through March. Here's another 9108 daughter out of a really good 5-year-old moderate made good udder cow sired by 5011, who's a Holden bred bull. He left a lot of good functional females. Here's our youngest out of a 9108 bull and a Holden bred cow that we purchased, 5122. She got sick as a calf and is playing catch up, but she's bred to calve in February or March. Another 9108 daughter set to calve in late January on the AI date. This cow is a 6212 daughter out of a 10-year-old cow with a really good udder. She should have an exceptional udder. She's set to calve on the AI date. We keep our breeding cows on average, probably they last 8 or 9 years. You know, we'll keep them until they're not producing at a high level. We just got rid of a 13-year-old cow here in the last couple months, and we have quite a few 9 and 10-year-olds, even 11 and 12-year-olds right now. So as long as they're functioning at a high level and still producing, we'll keep them in the herd. This is another 9108 daughter. We recently sold a semen package to Australia on 9108. He's owned by Johansen Herefords, L-Bar W in Montana, and then there's a semen interest kept back by Cooper Herefords. They used him heavily a year ago, and some they've got calves this year as well. Like I mentioned, they're high seller was out of him. We're located in central Utah. Been in the business since 1979 in the purebred business, and set to go for another long while. We predominantly stayed line one through the years. Little outcross in the 80s and 90s. The 80s we had some Carpenter Williams bloodline. When they dispersed, we bought a number of females. Otherwise, we stayed pretty straight line one. Had a little bit of Oxley influence back when they dispersed in 2002. We're at about 5,600 feet right here. Those far mountains we run on summer range and have some private land along with forest permit. It gets up above 10,000 feet. Our private pastures on that mountain are at about, between 8,500 and 9,000 feet. Thanks for the questions. Thank you, Marky. This heifer's out of a Miles City bred female. Her great-grandmother produced a really good herd sire that we used. We only raise seed stock, but we have steers that don't make bulls. We'll have about, half of the bulls we cut, so we'll have 20 to 30 steers every year, but they're all purebred. Unless they get bred late on the mountain, then they tend to come as black baldies. Roughly weigh about 600 pounds for the steers. Our bull calves at the 205 adjusted usually come in about 650. They run as commercial cows. They're not on better feed all year. We run on the mountain with about 1,000 other cows, and so they're not babied, and that to me is a good thing. We're able to cull for the genetics that can't make it, and so we look hard at phenotype and the cows that can travel, good feet, good legs, easy fleshing. This cow here is another 9108 daughter out of a 1098 cow. On the bottom side, her grandmother was the first cow that we flushed. She was in the herd till she was 13. Red ticking, I'm not 100% sure what that is. Can you expound? Is that a genetic disease or? Yep. So yeah, before we started the purebreds in 1979, we ran straight commercials. So these just transitioned, and we run on the same permit on the mountains, and then in the winter, actually right now, last weekend, on the desert beyond that first hill, we're on the San Rafael Desert. We run on BLM permit till the end of December. Then we'll bring them in, and they'll start calving here mid to late January. This is another 9108 daughter out of a first calf heifer. She should calve on the AI date. '6212 daughter here. Ahead of us, another 6212. 6212, the cattle are very calm, almost scratch their backs. Have a good hip on them. 6212's out of the 7003 Holden cow that was a prolific donor for them. Far distance on the left there, she's a 9108. Here's another 9108. Our cattle are all horned. Line 1 is horn genetics. We don't have any pulled in our genetics. They're just dehorned. We dehorn them with an acid paste right at birth when we tag them. It works really well. There'll be a couple that we don't quite get, and we'll dehorn when we do our pre-weaning vaccinations. In our environment, we found that the horn genetics just thrive better. They're hardier. The bulls go after, are more vigorous breeders. They travel for the feed better. Easier fleshing. They just do better in our arid environment. We get, and it's getting less and less, but we get about 8 inches of rain a year. The spots of red on their face is just, we do get it, and we actually like it. This cow here's got freckles, but it's not really. We'll get spots on the cheek, and that seems to happen with the line 1 cattle. This heifer, I don't know if you can see it very well, but she's pretty well freckled. We like pigment. We push for it, but it's not the end all. It does help some with pink eye. I'm not sure if there's really a true correlation with cancer eye. Cancer eye is definitely genetic, but I don't know that it's tied to pigment. They say it is, but I haven't seen it in my own genetics. We sell all of our cattle private treaty. We sell weaned heifers just right after they're weaned. In fact, right now we've got 30 weaned papered heifers available that are similar in quality to these. These are my replacements, of course, but it's hard to pick and choose what's going to be sold and not. So we sell about 30 weaned heifers right now with papers. And then we sell yearling bulls that you can start reserving in the next month or so. And we let them go in the spring after we get all of their test data and make sure they semen test. They're ready to go by March. We do have a website, just johansenherefords.com. On it, it's fairly current. We have all of our herd bulls on there. A lot of our females back, over a decade. Pictures of them. And pictures of last year's cell bulls along with previous year's cell bulls. Hello, Vem. Send us a question. So yeah, we try to keep our website up to date. We've also got an Instagram page that's Johansen Herefords, and on Facebook we have a page, Johansen Herefords. We post often on the social media pages throughout the year. Try to post, a couple times a week. TS 086. Send me a message. I'll send you send me a message with your email address. I'll make sure you get on our mailing list. Thank you. Need to move this way. We're located in central Utah, in the San Rafael Swell, near the Rocky Mountains. The Rocky Mountains are right here. That's the Manti mountain range. We run there in the summer. We've got private land up there. It's beautiful country. In the distance, you can see a coal-fired power plant, the 3 stacks. So our country is very rural. A lot of agriculture. Coal mines are getting fewer and fewer, and we've got 2 coal power plants within 10 miles of each other. Hadley Herefords. Sounds familiar, but can't say I know them very well. Are they still in business? Closed herd since '49. So are they still going? The grain, we don't grain it. These heifers have never seen grain. Our bulls, of course, about this time of year after weaning through yearling, we put them on a test ration. It's not too heavy. They'll average under 1,200 pounds at yearling. We don't want them extra fat. We want them to go out and work. So they actually, we get them on Purina AccuRation mix. It's 70% cracked corn and 30% AccuRation. It helps limit their intake. So tell me more about Hadley Herefords. Huh, I'll have to, do they have a website? Hadley? Have to look them up. Closed herd, that's intriguing. What, do you know what genetics they run? Another 9108 daughter. These will be the first 9108 daughters that we calve out. From the looks of it, their udders are making up really nicely. Gonna have nice tight udders. Teat size look to be promising. So that's always encouraging. Would love to have your grandpa come visit. We love visitors before we know it. Another 9108 daughter out of a Cooper bred cow. Well, I'm running out of daylight and phone battery, so we'll have to do this again. Any last questions? Please reach out in a message. Always love to chat. Thanks, Jay. We'll do this again. Over and out.